Station UA of Berlin, Germany. Empire Transport and Storage Company of Berlin. Calling Empire Transport and Storage Company of Los Angeles, California.
Is that thing going on my truck?
Yep.
Then you can get another driver. I'm through.
Say, what's the matter with you, Murph?
We've had 4 of our trucks wrecked in the past month, haven't we? And every one carried one of them hoodoo statues.
Well, this is a fine time to lose your nerve.
I can't help it. And I've got a strong hunch the Whispering Shadow is going to strike again.
I'll take the truck out, Jack. What do you say? I'm not afraid.
Makes a lot of difference when it's your kid brother, don't it, boss?
Well,
Thanks, Jack.
Oh, wait a minute, Bud. Just want to make sure your radio phone was working okay.
The radios were working on them other trucks, but that didn't help the drivers any.
Oh, cut out the crepe hanging, will you?
If anything happens to that kid, Jack, remember, I tried to warn you.
Begin broadcasting. Hello, Sparks. Get my kid, bro. Got to pick up a shipment of Clearwater.
I can't call him right now. There's something wrong with the radio.
Who are you talking to?
Mr. Foster, he wanted to...
Ah, here you go again. Laughing everything that happens in this department. Here, I'll fix it. You clean up this mess.
What's the trouble, Steinbeck? What's the matter with the radio? How soon are you going to have it fixed?
I don't know. My equipment is all right. There seems to be some outside force interfering.
Outside force? The same thing happens every time there's an attack on one of our trucks. That means the Whispering Shadow's going to strike again. And my brother is on that truck.
Can't you get the warehouse?
No, something's wrong.
Don't worry. Nothing's going to happen. Looks like he's after us. Get ready, Gus.
Hold up there. Don't shoot it, Jack.
Gee, Jack,
You sure gave us a scare. What's wrong?
Nothing, I hope. But we're playing safe. Change the route the next turn off at.
What's that?
Stay where you are. A whispering shadow. Look! It's a trap. Get going, Bud.
Fools, you cannot escape.
Step on it, Bud.
Grab the truck before she goes off the road.
Please!
Who are you? I'm Jack Fawcett. He's one of the Whispering Shadows men. He attacked another of our trucks and killed my brother.
Shadow! You caused to fear my anger, you cowards. Through your failure, Kruger is in the hands of the police.
You know who the Whispering Shadow is? Tell us! Who is he? I don't know, I tell you. I never saw him. None of us knows who he is.
Come clean or we'll sweat it out of you.
You know who it is, all right. Who is he? What's his real name? Come on, quit stalling. Speak up.
Kruger is weakening. Watch his light and reward.
I told you the truth before. None of us has ever seen him. None of us knows who he is.
You're headed for the chair, Kruger. Lying won't save you.
It's the truth, I tell you. All I know is where we meet to get our orders.
Where is it? Come on. Tell us.
I'll tell. It's...
Kruger talked too much. His light has gone out. Well, the chief's coming up, and Robert Raymond's with him.
You mean the famous criminologist?
Yeah, passing through town and dropped off to see the chief.
How did this happen?
Well, we were quizzing this bird, and all of a sudden he dropped dead.
There was no shot from the outside?
Not a sound.
May I, certainly, Raymond. Glad to have your opinion. Look. Strange. Thing's still hot. It looks like one of the electrodes that they use in the death house. That's exactly what it is. Your man was electrocuted.
Electrocuted? Impossible. Well, where are the wires?
The diabolical genius that conceived this had no need of wires. That man was killed by a radio death ray.
You say your radio has been put out of commission every time one of these attacks occurred. How does your operator explain that, Mr. Bradley?
Mr. Steinbeck is in charge of the radio room. I'll let him answer your question.
There's some strange influence cutting across our terminals that prevents us from broadcasting.
Well, I beg to differ with you. I was in the radio business before I became vice president of this company. And I believe this so-called outside influence is an inside job.
What do you mean by that, Jerome?
Possibly Mr. Jerome is right. On more than one occasion, I caught him secretly fooling with the radio.
Is this true, Jerome?
Well, yes. As I told you, I know something about radio, and I have tested the equipment now and then.
Has it ever occurred to you, Mr. Bradley, that the attack of the Whispering Shadow began about the time Mr. Jerome bought into this company?
Mr. Bradley, I'll not remain here to be insulted by a subordinate whom I have reason to suspect. If you've anything to say to me, I'll be in my office.
Is there anything else, Mr. Bradley?
I don't think we need to detain Mr. Steinbeck any longer. Can you think of any reason why these attacks should be directed against your company, Mr. Bradley?
None.
No competitor who would like to see you driven out of business?
We are unique in the field.
Your losses must be considerable.
It's not our losses that worry me. It's fear for our employees. It's getting so I dread to hear the sound of a truck pulling out. I know its driver may never come back.
If I only had some clue, however slight, to start unraveling.
There's one strange thing in connection with the attacks. Every truck that's been wrecked was carrying a waxwork from Strang's House of Mystery.
Strang? You don't mean Professor Anton Strang, the magician?
Why, yes. Do you know him?
Only by reputation, and that's bad enough. I'll contrive some means of paying him a visit.
But that's easily arranged, and he'll never suspect you.
Take your hat, sir.
No, thanks. Where's Professor Strang?
Take your hat, sir.
Pretty lifelike, isn't it?
Take your hat, sir.
You're standing in the spring that operates it.
We'd better watch our step around here.
Can I help you?
This is the most lifelike one of all. The professor sure knows his girlie's figures. Oh, I beg your pardon, miss.
You wish to see my father?
I'll take care of the gentleman, Vera.
Professor Strang, we're from the Empire Transport Company. I'm Jack Foster, and this is Mr. Stevens, our insurance adjuster.
Yes? Your last shipment was badly damaged in a wreck, Professor. We'd like to settle with you.
I have a similar figure in the storeroom. If you'll come with me, we can discuss the damages.
Thank you.
I'll stay here while you two talk business.
By all means. This way, Mr. Stevens.
Excuse me a minute.
These little playmates of yours get kind of rough, Professor.
My dear Mr. Foster, I can't tell you how sorry I am. I hope you're not badly hurt.
What's happened to you? Rather a nasty wound you've there. You better take you to a doctor right away.
Oh, I'm all right. It's only a little bruise.
We can't afford to take any chances.
Let me call a taxi.
We've a car outside. The company will mail you a check for the damages to your waxwork.
Hey, what's the idea? I was just on the point of finding out something.
You wouldn't have found out a thing. It was Strang who struck you down. Lucky he didn't kill you.
Then we're on the right track.
I wish you hadn't done it, Father. I'm afraid that assurance adjuster suspects you.
I know he does. Look at this. Doesn't know I took it out of his pocket. Mr. Robert Raymond, the world-famous detective.
Do you suppose this whispering shadow is wise to our secret?
What's the difference if the shadow or this wise dick does find us stuff? Either way, you and me are rotting in jail for nothing.
Maybe they won't find it. We hit it pretty smart.
I ain't taking any chances. We've got to get out of here.
Why, you're crazy. Them guys never miss.
We risked our necks to get the stuff, didn't we? Well, I'll risk mine again to keep it.
Not me.
Bring it in, boys. Be careful with it. Hello, Professor. We have no further use for this after settling with you, so thought you'd like to have it.
Put it down right there.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it. I'm glad to have been of service to you. Good afternoon, Miss Strang.
How do you do? Father, look at this.
There's only one reason why he would take such a risk. I must take equally desperate action.
What are you going to do?
I'll strike at the warehouse tonight.
But, Father, think of a terrible risk. Oh, you must be careful.
Nonsense. It's any risk too great. And the price is the world's richest collection of jewels.
Father, please listen to me.
Going to attack the warehouse tonight.
We'll be waiting for it, and we'll capture the Whispering Shadow.
You all understand my order.
We understand.
Remember, they will be on the lookout for us. The place will be well guarded. Nothing must go amiss. I will be there.
Stop where you are.
Well, what's the meaning of this?
That's all right, Bill. Let him pass. Sorry, Mr. Jerome, but the place is being guarded. We weren't expecting you tonight.
Do I have to get special permission to enter my own office? I've got work to do tonight.
Do you usually come in at night?
I've never known him to before.
Check in at Portland for transshipment. OK, 34, that is all. Calling truck 42. Calling truck 42. Hey, boss! He's gone dead again.
I thought I told you not to interrupt me.
But it's that same interference, the Whispering Shadow. Shall I call Mr. Raymond?
No use alarming anybody until we are sure. Sounds to me like trouble with the aerial. Get up on the roof and take a look at it.
Yes, sir.
And don't go locking yourself out on the roof again.
Everything's working as planned. The door's open. You! Give me that package. Keep away from me or I'll shoot. You hear me?
Oh, Mr. Raymond! Mr. Raymond! We just found the marksman tied up in the basement.
Whispering shadows. Sound the alarm. To the roof! Quick!
What's happened? The whispering shadow.
Where you are? Why, Mr. Bradley, what are you doing here? I told you the Whispering Shadow was going to attack the warehouse tonight.
You evidently expected him to come in the front door.
No, but I have guards posted all around the building. There's no telling where he may strike.
Have you any clue as to who the Whispering Shadow is?
No, but I know what he is. An electrical genius, master of radio and perhaps television.
What on earth could he want in this warehouse?
I can only guess. Something of tremendous value, hidden somewhere in this building.
And I certainly hope you catch it. I'll be in my office if you want me.
Oh, Mr. Raymond! Mr. Raymond! We just found the marksman tied up in the basement.
Whispering Shadow, sound the alarm!
He sure did, but he vanished into thin air.
Where does this thing lead?
The package leads to the basement.
Well, that's the way you went.
After him.
The roof fell in.
I've got the shadow. Help! Quick! Don't let him get away.
Why, it's Mr. Jerome.
So it is. You can let him loose. Mr. Jerome is above suspicion.
In a mystery of this sort, Mr. Bradley, no man is above suspicion.
I know he isn't. He killed the radio operator. I saw him.
That's a lie. Now, just a minute. When did this happen?
Just before the Shadow's men attacked. Sparks saw them and started to give the alarm, but Jerome struck him down.
I didn't know it was Sparks. I thought it was one of the Shadow's men.
Well, let's go upstairs and look into this.
Oh, gee. I nearly had it.
So, this is the man I killed, is it? A pretty live-looking corpse.
Is he the man who knocked you down?
I don't know.
What? Didn't you see him?
No. If he had been where I could see him when he hit me, I wouldn't have got hit.
This man Steinbeck has been accusing me to cover his own guilt.
Jerome, think what you're saying.
I know what I'm saying. The Whispering Shadow is a radio genius, isn't he? Well, Steinbeck answers that description. And he's got a private broadcasting radio behind that door.
It isn't a private radio. It belongs to the company and is used for experimental work only. Mr. Bradley knows that.
That is true. Any objection to our having a look?
Not at all. There you are, Mr. Raymond.
No, you don't. What did I tell you, Raymond? He's trying to conceal this paper. Foreign language. Can you translate this?
Why, it's some kind of an engineering formula.
Then why did he try to hide it?
Because it is my secret invention.
I don't believe it. And I'm surprised, Raymond, that a detective of your standing would swallow such a story.
Are you the famous detective, Mr. Robert Raymond?
That's my name.
Oh, then you are the man I'm looking for. Maybe you can solve this puzzle for me.
Stand back.
Find it? No, it isn't up here.
Isn't down below either.
I'd rather be shot than go back and tell the Shadow we lost it.
We may be shot when we do tell him. If the police don't capture us first, we certainly are in a tough spot.
So you're the Whispering Shadow, you... Stop, officer. He can't be the Whispering Shadow. This is Slade, the jewel thief. He just escaped from the penitentiary. But he had the package the Shadow men were after. The same package, all right. Why, it's empty.
Empty? And the girl?
Who? What girl?
None of your business.
He means Strang's daughter. She must have emptied the package before Slade grabbed it from her. Mr. Jerome, you'll have to take Slade back to town alone and turn him over to the police. I'm going to beat the girl in her father's house and nail the Shadow with the goods. So, you'll let the girl trick you, you fool. Get into that car. We've got to act quickly.
Hello? Let me have the intelligence department. Hello, is that you, Mac? This is Raymond speaking. I want you to look up Alexis Steinbeck. Find out what his foreign connections are. See if he has a criminal record. Okay, Mac. I'll keep in touch with you. Come in.
Found this girl hiding downstairs and she refused to give account of herself.
I'll take care of this, John.
Okay, Mr. Raymond.
Well, Miss Strang, I suppose you realize that a serious charge can be brought against you.
What? Trespassing?
Oh, no. Nothing quite so simple as that. I know that you came here to help your father steal the jewels of the Tsar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, you do. And you're going to make a complete confession before you leave this room. We have very conclusive proof that your father is the Whispering Shadow.
You suppose the Whispering Shadow is really Professor Strange? Who knows? No one has ever seen the Shadow.
You haven't any proof. You're just bluffing.
You'll change your mind about that when the jail door is closed behind you.
Oh, no, she won't. Keep your hand away from that gun. This way, miss. Quick. Get into that closet.
Any message from the Shadow yet? There he is now.
Never mind taking your places. We must act quickly. Foster is at the house of mystery, interfering with my plan.
Ah, Mr. Foster. Come in. Sorry to have kept you so long. I was just ready to retire.
Don't try to bluff, Strang. I'm here for a showdown, and you know it.
Showdown? My dear Mr. Foster, I don't understand.
Then see if you can understand this. I have reason to believe you're the Whispering Shadow. You tried to rob the warehouse tonight.
How do you dare to make such...
And your daughter got away with the loot.
Get away? Young man, you're not only insulting but ridiculous. My daughter has been home all evening.
I suppose you can prove that.
Why, certainly. She retired an hour ago. Bela? Bela? There you are. Sound asleep. Now, Mr. Foster, I bid you good night.
Just a minute. I don't know how your daughter managed to get here ahead of me, but I do know she was in the warehouse tonight. Take off that dressing gown. You're coming with me.
Mr. Foster, you're making the greatest mistake of your life.
My daughter! Slave!
Keep your motor running and see that we aren't interrupted. It's Slade. Get him!
you're going to explain?
Someone stopping the mechanism! The walls are moving!
Isn't there any way to stop them?
No! They come together!
Well, that's the kind of a monster the Whispering Shadow is. He'd even kill you, his own daughter, in order to do away with me.
My father is a Whispering Shadow. You must believe me. Why should I lie to you now?
I wish I could believe you, but I know those are the Shadow's men out there. Saw them kill my brother.
I tell you, my father had nothing to do with it.
Your bullet broke the switch. The panel won't open.
We've got to get the girl out. Break down the wall.
The Shadow. The police are coming. Get out, quick.
To the rookery, quick!
You send for us? I'm afraid you're too late. Slade got away. Slade? You mean he escaped convict? Are you sure? Yes, I recognize him by his picture in the papers.
How long has he been gone?
Just a minute before you came. He can't be far away, officer. Come on, Bill. Meddling fools. Who could have sent them here?
Then it wasn't you?
Me bring the police here? What did you do with the jewels?
I didn't get them.
But Slade thought you had them, or he wouldn't have followed you here.
I didn't have time to open the package before Slade snatched it from me.
Then somebody took them out of the package before you got it. Who could have done it? It could only have been one man. He was near the roof when the package fell from the plane.
Who was it, Father?
One of the officials of the storage company. His name escapes me. Oh, yes. Now I remember. It is...
Any word from the Shadow?
Yes, we're away here. He'll give his orders at 11 o'clock.
But, Mr. Raymond, how could you, the greatest detective in the country, let the Shadow attack this warehouse and get away with it without the slightest clue?
What makes you think I haven't a clue, Bradley? I know what the Shadow's after.
You do? What is it?
The most priceless collection of jewels in the world. The imperial jewels of the Tsar.
You mean they've been stored here in the warehouse without my knowledge?
Yes. The cleverest scheme ever devised by a thief to hide his loot.
Yes? It's for you.
Thank you. Hello?
Foster talking, Mr. Raymond. I've trailed the Shadow's men and found their hideout.
Right, I'll meet you there.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that Foster on the wire?
Yes. He believes he's found the Shadow's hiding place.
Well, aren't you going to call the police?
No, will you do that for me, please? Tell them I'll meet them at the first turn-off beyond the country club.
Doggone, I nearly had it.
Is Mr. Steinbeck in his laboratory?
No, Mr. Raymond. He's on the roof, looking after the broken aerial.
Well, then you better go up and help him.
But,
There's nothing you can do here until the aerial's repaired.
All right.
Blundering fools. You think that Foster is dead. He has tracked you down. Act quickly.
My men are all posted, Mr. Foster. The place is completely surrounded.
We can't wait any longer for Raymond. You'd better...
Any sign of the Shadow?
No, but we're all ready to close in.
Lead the way, Sergeant.
Want us to break in, huh? Well... Pass it all around, boys.
Wait. I've never seen the lock I open with this key. No one in there, Sarge. No one upstairs, Sergeant.
Well, if there was anybody here, then made their clean getaway.
They've been warned. Did you tell anyone I found the Shadow's headquarters?
Well, only Mr. Bradley. But surely you don't suspect him, the president of the company.
I wonder if anyone could have listened in on the phone.
Perhaps.
Hello, Sparks.
Oh. Yes, Mr. Jerome.
I found somebody who can solve your puzzle for you.
Oh, Mr. Jerome. Who is it?
He's waiting for you at the end of the main aisle on the 3rd floor.
Thank you.
I'll take a look in the radio room, see if Sparks is there. He can tell you better than I. Oh, Sparks. Well, looks like he isn't here. But as I told you, there's the door to the roof where I saw a hand reach out and grab a package of jewels.
But isn't that where Jerome mistook Sparks, one of the Shadow's men?
Yes. Say, that means Jerome was close by when the package fell out of the plane. Do you suppose he could have taken the jewels?
Well, it's worth looking into. Let's go down and talk to Mr. Bradley.
Well, you will never solve that puzzle. But, Mr. Bradley, we would have captured the Shadow's men if someone hadn't tipped them off. Did you tell anybody I discovered their hideout?
Why, come to think of it, I did tell Jerome. But surely you don't think that he... Come in.
Excuse me, Mr. Bradley, but this is an urgent message for Mr. Raymond.
Thank you, Jarvis.
Taxi! Keep that car in sight, but don't let him know you're following him.
Step on it, driver. He's getting away.
Well, you told me not to let him get wise to us.
Get ready. Okay, William. Hold there, partner. He isn't here.
Why, I was just talking to him.
He got wise and jumped out. Come on, search the bush. I got him!
There he goes!
Make it snappy, William. Come on.
She won't start.
He's torn out the feed line.
I've got you covered, you double-crossing crook.
What do you want?
You know what I want. Where'd you hide the stuff?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No?
There's Jerome's house.
Father, promise me you'll be careful.
There's nothing to worry about, Vera. These smoke pots will make Jerome show me where the jewels are hidden.
Don't try to stall me, Jerome. I know the jewels were in that bag. You tell me where you hid them, or... I'm not wasting any more time on you, Jerome. You'll tell me... Not a peep out of you.
Never mind me. He has got the jewels. me. He has got the jewels.
Vera, my child.
I'm all right, Father. But you, I thought...
Just a flesh wound. Never mind. Where is Slade?
He got away with the package.
Now, come, we must get him. Follow him. Come.
But Mr. Foster's car went off the road. He may be badly hurt.
Master, we have no time to waste on him. We've got to catch Slade.
What I'm going to do to Foster for this when I catch him? Ain't you ever going to get that thing?
Guess you'll start now.
We better get Foster or the Whispering Shadow will...
Shadow!
The Shadow. Attention, all of you, including you three on the road. Slade has the package. He's heading south on the road from Jerome's house. Get it at any cost.
Failure means death for us all.
Never mind him. We've got the package.
He's tricked us. The jewels are gone.
No. The jewels were never in this box. Slade got the wrong package.
The circuit is broken. Somebody has opened this door while we were away.
Oh, but...
They may still be inside. Act as if nothing had happened.
There's nobody here.
Wait. Can I turn on the translucent ray?
Mr. Jarvis.
You recognize him?
Yes. He's secretary to Mr. Bradley, president of the storage company.
I'll put an end to his spying.
Oh, Father, wait.
You were right. It is best not to let him know we suspect him. Follow him quickly.
Shadow.
I see you have the package.
Yes. But the jewels are not in it. We obeyed your orders to the letter. We have not failed.
You did well. Those papers are of great value to me. Guard them with your lives.
Hello. Empire Storage? Give me the radio room, quick.
Begin broadcasting. Yes, just a minute. I will call him. Mr. Steinbeck! Mr. Steinbeck!
What is it?
You are wanted at the pole.
All right. Yes, I searched Strang's place from top to bottom, and I found he's in this thing deeper than you suspected. Well, this is serious. I'll have to leave right away. You come back here and cover things at this end.
Come in. Hello, Steinbeck. What's on your mind?
I'll be gone for an hour or two, Mr. Bradley. I've got to see the steel company and some other people about the new radio tower.
With your suspicions of Steinbeck, Mr. Raymond, shouldn't you keep track of him?
Don't worry, Mr. Bradley. No matter where he goes, one of my men will be always trailing him.
Well, what luck? Slade got away with the jewels.
And Jerome did have them.
Yes, plenty of people knew about it beside ourselves. Strang and his daughter were there.
That's a very good idea. But Jerome isn't here yet, and I've got to leave. You keep your eye on him.
I'll do it. Hello, Jarvis.
Mr. Foster? Oh, then you were not hurt. Oh, I'm so glad. I came over to inquire about you.
That's very kind of you, Miss Strang.
Oh, please. Won't you even let me thank you for saving my life?
Miss Strang, I let you make a fool of me once when you begged me to believe that your father isn't the Whispering Shadow, and now...
And now, more than ever, you've got to believe it.
How can I believe it when I know you and your father are after the jewels that were stolen from this warehouse?
But my father has a right to those jewels.
What right?
That's the one thing I cannot tell you.
Why not?
Because it's my father's secret. If it were known, it would bring ruin and disaster to many people.
You'll have to tell me more than that if you expect me to believe you.
Oh, will this make you change your mind? I don't know who the Whispering Shadow is, but I'm as anxious to capture him as you are. If you'll listen to me, we can work together and unravel this mystery.
I'd like nothing better than that. Hello? Yes? The girl is here now. She's pulling the wool over Foster's eyes.
Watch them both. I am about to strike, and they must not interfere.
I'll take care of that.
Hello. Hello. Any calls for me?
Jerome, I have you in my power. The papers you lost are in my hands. And unless you give up the jewels, the world will know who you are.
No. I'll do anything you ask. I'll give up the jewels.
I thought you would. In a few minutes, a lame old man will call on you. Have the jewels ready.
I'll be waiting here in my office.
Then Jerome is not the Whispering Shadow.
But he has the jewels. We mustn't let him get away.
He won't dare double-cross the Shadow. He'll come back with the jewels, and we'll get him and the Shadow together. The Shadow must have one of his radio receivers hidden in this room, or we couldn't have heard his voice. If we could find it, it would help us to trap him. I wonder what this is. Do you suppose this could be it?
You're looking for me?
I believe you are expecting me, Mr. Jerome.
Yes. Come with me. Wait here. I'll bring the jewels to you.
Game's up, Jerome. You're coming to the boss's office with me.
interfered with me for the last time.